Hi, in this video I will sharing how I made this lovely high-low kaftan top with pockets. So this is an easy step-by-step tutorial and it is highly beginners friendly. So please do well to like, subscribe and share. So to make this, you'll be needing about 1.5 to 2 yards of fabric depending on your size and your top length. So I'm folding this fabric now into two. I went ahead to fold the length of my Ankara fabric into two this way, and from that point I'll be making another fold of four. So I'll try to arrange this very well on my table. Right here I have a fold of four, and I'll be cutting both front and back together, guys. So I'll go ahead and measure the length of my top that I'm working with, and I'll just cut off the excess there. So this is what I have. Now this part at the top will be serving as my shoulder. It is on fold. Also, this part closer to me will be serving as the center front and the center back, and it is also on fold. So I went in by 3 inches for the neck width and 1.5 inches for the neck depth for the back, and I'll just connect into a round neckline. So at that middle point, I went ahead to divide my shoulder measurement by two. I have 8 and I marked 8 over there. So from that point that I marked it, I'll just determine how long I want my sleeve to be, plus the extra allowance that I'll be using for folding. Then I will mark what I have. I'll just connect a straight line this way. So at this straight line, I'll measure my round sleeve. Just measure how wide you want your sleeve to be, measure it and divide by two, and you mark over there. So at that point, I'm also connecting a straight line towards the folded part of my fabric here, which is the center front and the center back. Here I'll be measuring the biggest circumference of my body. I'll be dividing it by 4. I'll mark. I'll also be adding extra inches for allowance. You know that this top is a very free one. You want it to be very free, so just go ahead and add about 4 inches or 5 inches depending on your preference, depending on how wide you want your top to be. So after marking, just come down and also mark the same thing. You are doing this to be able to have a straight line. So once you are done marking, just grab your ruler and connect into a straight line. And this is what you have. Now what you have here, you won't be leaving it straight this way. You just want to like use your tape and come out from there by 1 inch. Mark 1 inch and just curve and blend it together like this. Now once you are done, just cut out your back neckline. Remember we drafted only for the back yet. That's the back neckline yet. So go ahead and cut out the rest of what we have marked. So this is what we have after cutting out the body and the back neckline. Now what we'll be doing next is to be cutting out the front neck. Now we have a neck width of 3 inches already, and for the front neck we'll be coming down by 8 inches. So the front neck is a V neck. We'll be coming down by 8 inches. You can do 7, you can do 7.5, 8.5, or more depending on you. So once I was done with that, I'll just go ahead and connect into a V neckline. So at this point that I marked 8 inches there, I will be coming out by 2 inches. So these 2 inches that I'm marking, I'll mark till I get to the end. I will just mark repeatedly. So these 2 inches that I'm marking will be replacing it later with a piece of fabric. So just go ahead and connect with a straight ruler. So you want to connect this also to your neck width. So you see these 2 points, you place your ruler and just like arrange it very well and just connect this way, just as you see me doing. Then you'll be cutting it out. So when you are cutting, remember that the back is there, so you won't be cutting the back. So you just have to be very careful when you're cutting this. Just raise one part of it up this way and just cut only the front that you marked now. So this is what I have after cutting. I'll go ahead and make a notch right at the center of my back neckline. So this is what we have, guys. If you have been following, this is what you should have. So guys, please, if you have watched to this point, please do it to like and subscribe. Thank you. So now I'm trying to measure what I have there. I'll measure from the length through the front neckline and also through the back neckline. So what I have there, I'll take note of what I have there. Next, I'll bring in this piece of fabric. This piece of fabric is about 5 inches wide. It's about 5 inches wide, and also the length is enough to cover up for what I measured on my top, plus some extra inches. So I have two of these. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and make a stitch right at that point that I'm showing you. So this is what I have after making that stitch. I'll go ahead and iron this out neatly. Now from that point that I made that stitch earlier, I'll just go ahead and measure how open I want my front neck to be. Now I'm working with 13.5 inches. You can do more, you can do less, depends on you. So now at that point, I'll just go ahead and divide what I have there. Remember, the width of the fabric I have is 5 inches, and the length is also enough to cover up what I have on my top. So I'll mark 2.5 right there till I get to the end. So please guys, just pay attention and you will understand what I am doing here. So once I was done, remember I marked 13.5 inches from that place that I joined. So go ahead and stitch on this line. That's the midpoint of these 5 inches that I've marked. Go ahead and stitch yours, and this is what I have after stitching. As you can see, this is what I have. So now what I'll be doing next, I'll take the two piece up this way. This is how I'll be taking it up. I'll go ahead and like arrange it neatly. I'll take this, arrange it neatly. I'll open up this joint that I have here. You can press it down with your iron. Just go ahead and arrange this neatly and take it to your ironing table. Iron it very well. So I have excesses there. I didn't really sew to the end because what I have is very long. So I didn't actually sew to the end. So guys, now I'm bringing in my top. Remember that this top we are recreating is a high-low top. The back is actually longer than the front. So I'll just be reducing mine with 3 inches. I just want the front to be shorter by 3 inches. So I'll mark and just trim off the excess there. So this is my collar. This is the piece of fabric that I have after I was done ironing. This is what I have. So now I'll go ahead and bring in my top. Remember that I had notched the center back of my top earlier. Now this joining I have at this piece of fabric here, I'll be placing it right on that notch on the center back. So I'll be placing the collar to the right sides of my back neckline this way. Now I'll pin through from the back neckline through the front neckline to the length of my top. Make sure to pin this. So once I was done pinning to the length of my top, I'll come over to the middle. I'll come over to the middle here and I'll pin this way. I'll pin through the back neckline, pin the front, and I also pin to the length of my top. So once I was done pinning, I'll just head over to my machine and I'll just stitch on it. So guys, these are the pocket pieces I'll be working with. I have about 4 pieces here. So the length of this piece here is about 11 inches and the width is about 9 inches. So as you can see what I'm doing, I'll go ahead and make a fold right at the top. I'll first of all fold by half inch. I'll fold by another half inch. After folding, I'll just go ahead and close up the sides and I'll bring it back and show you what I have. So these are my pocket pieces. This is what I have after folding the top parts and also closing the sides and the down part. Now I'll go ahead and turn this over, but first I'll make notches. I'll trim out the excess allowances that I use in joining and I'll press. So now this is my top. I'll just go ahead and fold my sleeve with the allowance that I added. I'll also do the same thing for the other side. I'll also be hemming the base of my top. I'll be hemming both front and back separately. So this is what I have after hemming the sleeve of my top. You can see it's looking very nice and clean. The top is already coming together. I have also hemmed the base of my top. So guys, this is what I have. So next, I'll be bringing in my pocket pieces. I'll be arranging this on the front part of my top. I'll just like try to arrange them properly. I'll place it a little above my top length this way, making sure that some parts of the pocket is already like floating down. I'm sorry you can't see it properly because of the nature of fabric I'm using. So from that joining part at the middle, you can just go out by 2 inches that way. Just make sure that a little part of your pocket is floating downwards, as you can see from our inspiration. Once you are done placing, take your pins and pin them down neatly. Then you take it to your sewing machine and stitch on it. So this is what I have, as you can see. So just stitch on this line that I'm pointing, stitch neatly, and just do the same for the other side. So once I was done stitching, this is what I have. So you can see how part of this pocket is floating like outside of the top. So this is what I have. So I'm just trying to put my hand inside. You can see that this pocket can at least hold something inside it this way. So once I was done with that, I just flip this to the wrong side and I'll be closing with 1/2 inch. I'll arrange this neatly and take to my sewing machine. I'll be closing the side with 1/2 inch and I'll also be doing the same for the other side. So once I was done stitching, I'll bring it back and show you what I have. So guys, I am done stitching. I've also gone ahead to overlock the edges of this. So this is what I have. So the last thing I'll be doing, I'll just trying to flip this to the right side and will be showing you how I'll be finishing that part now, that part of the top now that is longer. So just go ahead and make a stitch here, or you can as well place a little piece of hemming gum there. Just place it beneath that place there, iron it down and just probably make a stitch to hold it in place. Once you are done, just iron out your top and this is what you have. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Please do it to like and subscribe. Bye.